Hey, where's Jimmy?
I don't know. What do I look like? A supervisor?
Well, I was just asking.
I'm asking a smart question, like a good question.
Uh, dude, behind you. He's right behind you. He's right behind.
What is it, boy? What is it?
There's somebody behind you. Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I need gopher chucks.
Oh, what the hell, dude?
What the hell, dude?
What'd I do?
What?
Hello and welcome to the Area Nerdy One talk show. I am Jimmy,
I'm Jarrett.
And I'm Matt.
and this is the Kung Fu Special.
Oh.
Not even gonna try.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Well, I'm not the expert.
Dude, I only know
right.
one form of martial arts. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Huge disclaimer right now. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm not an expert on martial arts. I'll be the last person to claim that, but I am an enthusiast. So, ask me any question. I'll provide the best answer I can. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. I won't claim to know every single martial art on the planet.
So everybody sit
if
back, strap in your seatbelts, because this is a Jimmy episode.
Front and center, where you belong, buddy. Look at that face.
That's right. This is my big break.
You're there.
It's big day.
Nobody mess it up. Okay, so we got a couple of topics. The reason we're doing the Kung Fu special right now, not only because I really, really like Kung Fu movies and stories and all that stuff, but also a bunch of stuff is coming up that's Kung Fu related. First of all, we've got first week in December is the release of Ip Man 4.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 movies.
It's like Friday the 13th level of sequels right there.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Next thing coming up.
that'd be if you got to the Friday the 13th level, it'd have to be like 8 or 9, and then have some like spin-offs where it's like, oh, Jet Li.
Man, back from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a lot that I could talk about there. So it looks like the story behind this one is going to be that it's Ip Man later in life, and he's going to be in America. I think it was supposed to be San Francisco or Oakland, and he's interacting with Bruce Lee, and the main villain looks like it is Scott Adkins.
Just for those and me who don't know who that is, why is he the big bad guy, and why is that a big deal?
Okay, well, first of all, Scott Adkins is one of my favorite martial arts movie stars. He hasn't really had any big, roles yet. I'm trying to think anything. I mean, if I brought
I was thinking of the country singer, but that's Trace Adkins, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
that.
Scott
I
Adkins.
had to think about it
Yeah.
for a second. I was like, wait a minute. That's a
Yeah,
whole
the
nother
country-
medium right there.
Bruce Lee v. country music.
Yeah, so that's Scott Adkins.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think his big movies are Ninja and Ninja 2. So he's done a lot of B-list movies, but he's a pretty good actor, great martial artist / stuntman.
I was wondering who the historical person he would be playing versus Bruce Lee.
Oh, his character isn't really a historical person. He's
Maybe a melding of a bunch of different people, kind of thing. Or...
maybe. I think it's just a character they made up for
It's
it.
fictional,
but
right?
he's fictional. Yeah, the character I think is fictional.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he plays an member of the army, like member of the military, because he's wearing like the fatigues and stuff. And so it looks like he's probably like he's like the army guy who knows martial arts, and he challenges Ip Man to a fight. Kind of the reverse almost of the first one, where the general in the Japanese army challenges him to a fight.
Well, doesn't he challenge them to a fight in that one? Well, spoiler alert for Ip Man.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it came out in 2008. If you haven't seen it by now, you're missing out. First of all, great movie. Like, not just a good kung fu movie. Like, you just take away the kung fu, it's just a good movie. That said, so the storyline is he's in China just as the war starts breaking out. Japan invades, and he's forced to live in poverty and work hard labor like all these other Chinese citizens. And he catches the attention of the occupying general, who's a karate expert, because he accepts a dojo challenge, and then at the very end, the general challenges him to a public match because he refuses to teach his Wing Chun to the Japanese army, and just really really good movie. Donnie Yen, who you guys know as Chirrut Imwe
From Rogue One.
from Rogue One.
The best Star Wars movie.
Oh my God, I'm checked out now. All right,
Oh, boy.
let's elaborate this character. Let's go.
Okay,
who is
so you
this?
remember Chirrut Imwe? He was the blind
Oh, I know.
the blind monk. Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah, and
forward
he
to
beat the
me.
crap out of 50 stormtroopers with his stick.
That was
Yeah.
one of the only good parts of the movie.
Yeah, he wasn't a Jedi, but he had the Force, but he didn't have the Force.
He
was
Force
one.
sensitive, but he wasn't trained in a Jedi.
Yeah, he was one with the Force. So basically, he could control, his not what do you want to call it? Your senses, I guess. He had heightened senses because he didn't have vision.
Right,
obviously.
but he didn't have like the full Force powers like a regular Jedi.
Right, yeah.
He was just sensitive to the Force, so he wasn't powerful enough to do that.
He was
But anyway.
he was like Daredevil with the Force.
But anyway, back to
Oh,
the
jeez.
matter at hand.
All right, so Donnie Yen, the actor who plays Chirrut Imwe, is the guy who plays Ip Man in all these movies, and he's just like very calm and very reserved and doesn't really get angry easily. And like the thing he does is like when he's really serious and he's about to go ham on these people, he just rolls his sleeves up.
It's kind of like
That's it.
it's kind of like Jack Bauer from 24.
What does he do?
It's just like, you ever watched the show 24?
No.
That was early 2000s
Yeah.
for us,
Yeah.
We're still watching American Idol kind of thing.
Don't you dare compare shows to American Idol, man.
But does he do something similar when he gets
Well, it's like,
anger?
well, I mean, it's like the way Jimmy described is that character. He in this last one, he's supposed to be like older, so it's almost like he's like retired, but has to get brought back in. It's like Jack Bauer, like in the first season, obviously he works for this international anti-terrorist unit or whatever, and then like later on he keeps getting brought in even if he tries to leave. But I saw where you were coming from, so I tried to compare it to something, but that was the closest thing I could come up
Yeah.
with. But that or Rambo, but
Right.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's
I was trying to compare the situation.
That's all right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm a huge Ip Man fan because that's like what really got me into looking at like kung fu and martial arts back in the day. So that would have been like, it was 2008 when it came out, so we would have been in high school.
Oh my gosh! But let me ask you this though, like, what was
Yeah.
your like go-to kung fu / martial arts movie that got you extremely hooked, like that where it was like, all right, I definitely want to start trying this.
Oh god. When I was a kid, it was straight up Power Rangers.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I thought nothing was cooler than like, standing in front of the TV in my, bathrobe, like doing the Power Rangers moves.
Jared, can you confirm this?
I cannot. I was not that into Power Rangers, and by that, I think I was way too young to remember that.
Yeah,
so
so like if I was 5, Jarrett was like 3. So
Jared had a dual
know,
disc on his wrist. He was doing a duel.
yeah, he was. Yeah,
I wasn't actually born. I just came from the Shadow Realm,
He
preparing to
he just
take
walked
on
through it.
Yami-Yugi.
You walked through in a diaper.
I collected together the head of Jarrett, the arms and legs of Jarrett, and then he just appeared.
Yeah, won his first duel against some Joker who brought out 3 freaking blue eyes. Not against the Jared.
Dude, here's how I imagine Jared like just coming into the Earth realm. He comes through in a diaper, walking in, and he has the bracelet on with like the star chips that everybody had to wear for that tournament.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jared has all 10 coming through, and he was the victor. That was your prize of win. Was that
So actually, that's how I wake up every morning. So I don't know what you're doing.
Where
That
are
way
you
just stop
sleeping?
watching.
And then he sleeps in Pegasus's castle.
Oh, Yugi boy.
Yeah. And then yeah,
Yes.
he wakes up. He shows the star chips, and we all do the anime gasp like
We have to beat it with friendship because that's
Oh, no, the
crucial
way-
to a duel.
The true anime way is when everybody says something at the same time. You ever
No, the true anime way is like a move or somebody moving at like light speed towards somebody, but everybody has time for like a full-fledged conversation and thought patterns.
Yeah, it's like, am I gonna dodge this? Am I gonna lose?
am
a
I
limb?
gonna dodge this? What's gonna happen to Grandpa?
Oh.
Yeah. Are we gonna be okay?
Is he gonna?
And
He's
as,
coming so
and
fast.
as the bad guy, I have time to like smile like, and then
Did I
make
turn the
my
oven
move.
off? Oh no! I need to go back and check. But wait, he's coming at me. What do I do? I gotta think about this.
And then everybody, like, a battle that should have taken like 2 minutes. Actually, this is about 16 episodes because they
Dragon
keep
Ball
powering
Z.
up, and then everyone's fine.
Yeah.
Dragon
I
Ball
just-
Z took like 30 episodes just to get through. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. I just watched it was like a clip of like an anime show, but it was about boxing. Like that was the thing.
Oh.
And it's straight up is like just like that. So like the
Yeah.
guy throws a punch and like he's like, "Oh, what am I going to do to dodge this? I know. I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing." And the punches, and the other guy's like, he dodged my punch." I was like, this has been like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I
That,
tried getting into the Hunter x Hunter, and the whole thing is just one like really long story arc that could have been easily solved, and it's I get what the draw of anime. It's so tedious.
Yeah.
It just takes so much effort to be invested in.
it's all
mostly-
build up. It really is
Yeah.
all build up to that moment because like me, I watch One Piece, so like there's a lot of that.
Wait, you watch One Piece?
Hell yeah.
I've never heard you say a word about One Piece.
Dude,
So what's that about again?
Luffy.
Oh, it's about
Okay,
that One Piece and people that don't steal, and everyone hates
Oh
pirates.
wait, all right, pirates that don't steal are actually committing any crimes, but
wow.
It's basically like Veggie
Don't-
Tales. And there's something called like bum like vegetables where they take powers away from you. Is that
Okay. Here, hold on. We just switched this episode from a martial arts to One Piece. So, okay.
we're verbally
let me
sparring now.
let me give you a brief, okay? For all you One Piece fans out there, know what I'm talking about. All right. So, the story is surrounded around a boy named
And we're out
Monkey
of time.
D. Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy, who ate the gum fruit
This mad.
No.
that makes him into a rubber man. So he has the powers to stretch and be flexible and absorb bullets. And his goal is to become king of the pirates. Because there was a guy named Gold Roger, that thrived through that. He got everything he needed. He got the treasure of the One Piece, which One Piece is what the name of the treasure is. If you understand.
I don't.
I don't follow at
but-
all.
All right.
Continue.
All right. I'm gonna give you guys my Funimation account after this because, oh my god,
Oh boy.
it's
Okay.
the only
Aren't
anime
there, like-
I'm gonna watch. I promise you that.
Okay.
Well, actually, anime is a pretty good segue into martial arts because some of the anime, most animes function around martial arts and combat.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Oh,
What?
there is so much that you just said right there. You just said, anime is a good way to look. That what would you say about martial arts?
a segue into
Yes. One
Okay.
Piece has martial arts in it. All right.
Okay.
I was
All right.
trying to explain
Okay.
this to you,
All right.
and you guys were bashing it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Matthew's sensitivity time just took up 10 whole minutes.
He basically had an anime scene right
Yeah.
there.
He's getting
Oh.
emotional over this.
Do they not understand?
What am I gonna do?
What am I gonna
Yeah. Yeah, true anime is like 95%
Hold on.
exposition, but there are we just talked about how the combat is like really stilted.
Yeah.
But if they there are some animes I've seen that they have like very flowing, very fluid, beautifully animated fight scenes, which even if they're like over the top fantastical, they still are very well done.
Well, they have to cut the corners on the animation budget, so that's why things are so stilted, and they disappear for times, especially like Naruto. But Not the expert on anime.
Yeah.
But anyway, what other big martial arts movies are coming up soon?
Okay, so we've got Mortal Kombat, the movie.
Oh
coming
yeah,
out.
that looks
in
pretty
20
amazing. I can't wait to see
Of
that.
course, that's coming in 2021, but they only recently released the lineup that they're going to have for the cast.
Well, I mean, the whole reason why
Who's
they're
Sub-Zero?
they're waiting a year is because the game MK11 just came out like, a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I can see why.
So-
Because you don't want to lose your attention from the game and go right into the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, let's see. Well, this'll be interesting because first of all, no movie is as bad as the original Mortal Kombat, but also no movie
I
is
love
as
that
good
movie.
as the Mortal Kombat. I know.
The second one is by far worse. There's a lot of
Yeah.
lovability in the first one,
Yeah.
but the sequel is definitely where they kind of
Yeah. Yeah, so the first one is it looks like it was choreographed by the Power Rangers crew.
Oh, dude, no, it was worse than that. Dude, okay, so you saw how, like, when the second one starts out, it's almost like continuing off from the first one, right?
Yeah,
Did you notice
it
how
doesn't miss a beat.
it doesn't miss a beat, and it's also different actors. Completely just different actors in that next scene.
Yeah.
That's what really screwed me up.
You know what I find hilarious? So you guys ever seen Highlander?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so in the first Mortal Kombat, the guy who played Raiden was the guy who played the hero in Highlander, and then directly after that, picking up right where they left off, boom, it's the guy who played the villain in Highlander.
Really? That was the
Yeah, so it was like
Wow.
yeah, so it would be like like in the first Batman, Batman like stops and Christian Bale is like, in the last scene, and then the first scene in the next Batman, it's Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Like nothing. What?
You want to know how I got these ears?
Okay.
How did
So
he get these ears?
to answer your question about who's going to play Sub-Zero, it's
Yeah.
going to be this guy called Joe Taslim, who was in the movie The Raid.
Okay. I don't think I saw the original one. I saw Raid Redemption though.
Yeah, the first one is by far better.
I disagree with you. I thought the fight scenes, choreography, and characters of the second one, was better, at least for me. I think the first one had more claustrophobic.
Yeah.
It was far more claustrophobic. I think that's where it shines the best.
Yeah, so it's claustrophobic. I think it was really different stylistically. It was like really dark and almost kind of like a horror movie, but with martial arts instead.
Yeah, I do agree with you that there. I think that's where it really shone. Kind of blending those two together. It was definitely like you said, like a monster horror movie, but with martial arts and people instead.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
Yeah,
you mix
and
two
then
different styles of film.
Yeah, Yeah, and then the second one was more of like a straight up
Drama.
Yeah, crime drama gangland film.
Spoiler alert for the Raid and Raid 2, if we get into that at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So, and then the guy who's gonna play Liu Kang, the main guy, is Ludi Lin is his name, and he played the Black Power Ranger in the most recent Power Ranger movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, he's an actual good martial artist. So
You think they're gonna have? It looks like the cast is pretty big though. Do you think they're gonna have a lot of fighting, a lot of actual good fights, or do you think it'll be kind of follow along the same lines as the actual first movie, where they try to develop those characters a lot more but kind of fall short because they run out of time?
Yeah, they ran out. Well, the first one ran out of time, and it's super low budget, and they were going with mid '90s computer generated graphics.
The '90s was just the best.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it?
You know who would made a
Right.
really good Sonya Blade?
Who's that?
Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat, I mean. Catherine Winnick.
I could hell yeah.
I
She's
feel
like a
because she
she's like a
she actually
6'3" black
knows
belt.
she knows
Yeah.
martial arts.
Yeah, she has her own dojos and her own schools and everything. Yeah, she's a badass.
Well, what about Ronda Rousey was supposed to be getting into acting and getting really into that whole thing, and she's not really a martial artist. She's more of like more of a
MMA.
MMA and more of a tank fighter.
Well, hell yeah. Well, first of all, hell yeah, she's a martial artist. She's a really good martial
Yeah.
artist. She's doing WWE right now.
No,
And,
she got
yeah.
fired from that, didn't she?
Jeez, I hadn't been keeping.
I gotta
up on
be
her,
honest
huh?
with you. I haven't. The last thing I remember is that one big fight that she had that she lost.
Yeah.
And she got her like jaw like fractured or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I really heard anything about her.
Yeah, I saw that fight. It was not pretty.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I think that she's been in some movies. She was in Expendables, and I think
Fast and the Furious.
yeah, I think she'd be a good pick for that. It all depends on availability, and if she's like busy doing WWE, she's not gonna have time for anything else.
She might be one of those good like bit part villains or something like that, like a mini boss.
She could have been.
Yeah.
She could have been. What was her name? Sindel,
The
the mother of
in the-
Katana,
yeah, the mother, and she had the crazy hair that goes like.
and she was able to scream to the point where like it rips your skin off your bones.
Yeah.
I don't play Mortal Kombat. It's too violent. My mom won't let me. So
How old are you, Jarrett?
I'm 23, but inside I am a 12-year-old boy.
I'm sorry, bud.
It's okay.
Well, with the new
That's all
YouTube, with the new YouTube guidelines, we can't present anything to children under 13 years old. So
Yeah. Well, hey, I think there was just something recently with the new Mortal Kombat game couldn't go on YouTube because of it was Raka Raka.
Why?
Raka
so-
Raka.
Raka Raka, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they made a video that was like, one of their skits, and it was the Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Mm.
And as you guys know, the new Mortal Kombat fatalities are they're just completely, utterly grotesque and violent and gory.
Mm.
They they were like recreating them, and they of course got kicked. They got dinged by YouTube, and they censored that video because it didn't meet guidelines.
Well, what were the guidelines? Was it just like a gore factor?
Yeah,
or-
it was like gore and violence.
Well, Raka Raka's always been like that. Did they just go overboard this time?
So yeah, okay, we probably talked about this in a previous video, but in recent years, YouTube, like when basically when something happens, like the Jake Paul or Logan Paul video, something like that, or the what do you call it, like the what's his face, the gamer guy,
PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Yeah, when something like that happens, when they have a controversy, basically they revamp the guidelines and the algorithms and stuff.
We can only hope that they ding Logan and Jake Paul to the point where they just don't exist anymore.
We're gonna be talking about that a little bit later, actually.
Ooh. Oh my. But anyway, actually, back on topic. What was the so what martial arts do you expect to be shown in Mortal Kombat? Do you from your knowledge, what do you expect?
From my immense knowledge and scrolling through many many pages of YouTube, so Ludi Lin is a Taekwondo. He's trained in Taekwondo. Joe Taslim, as you saw in the Raid movie, is at least the one he displayed in that is Silat, which is the Indonesian style martial arts. And I looked through. There are some other ones that are. You're probably going to see a lot of kung fu, probably more like kickboxing.
Mhm.
You're probably going to see. So the thing about Mortal Kombat is it's two-dimensional. The two fighters go at each other, right? So you don't really see like a lot of like grappling. What you see is a lot of like the strikes and like the kicks and stuff. So they're going to want to have something that's very cinematically easy to see. A lot of long kicks, a lot of long punches.
Well, there are characters that use a lot of grappling, like not Sub-Zero. Scorpion literally uses grappling. He uses things to latch onto other people.
Yeah. As far as like actual technical martial arts, you're probably just going to see a lot of performance style martial arts they might go a little bit gritty, but most likely they're probably just going to go with, kickboxing, punching, that kind of thing.
Anything that is going to provide some blocking, I guess.
Yeah, probably heavily karate is what they're. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah. You think we're gonna see Goro?
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see Goro. I just hope they don't completely
We might see a
CGI
big
it.
old CG Goro, not like the plastic and rubber.
The puppet?
version that we saw.
At least they tried.
Yeah.
They get the participation award for trying at least.
Yeah, that was not a bad prosthetic.
Yeah.
First of all, it was full size and it was functioning.
And it was two people in the suit.
Honestly, practical effects will always beat CGI most any days.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Fauch.
Well, I mean, that you remember Yoda puppet from episode 1?
Yeah. No,
Oh.
that's episode. First of all, it was episode 5.
No,
when we first saw Yoda
I'm
puppet.
talking about like the Phantom Menace.
Oh right,
like
yeah.
that
the
one
OG
versus.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
You are a heathen. How dare you?
How
How dare you, sir?
how dast you?
How dare you?
Well,
But-
I just have one question for you.
What?
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
oh my god, dude! I
Execute Order
can I
66.
can I just talk about this for a second? Because
No.
you know,
Yes.
we've all, well, some of us. I don't know if you guys have downloaded Disney Plus yet. I watched
Sell
episode 3, and when I got to that scene, I just couldn't take it seriously. I was just like, "Oh, here it comes!" And it happened. And I was just like, "Dude, the internet
Wait,
has
you mean
ruined
episode
this for
6?
me."
No, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. My God, you casual.
Episode 3. Oh shit, yeah, it is.
Dude, you are participating in the next Star Wars episode.
Oh man.
I need a
I'm-
whiteboard. I just want to have a
I need
whiteboard
to
in my
rewatch
background.
all of them.
I'm gonna have a whiteboard
They're
back
gonna
here
be
for
taken
Jarrett.
off of Netflix soon. It's gonna be super duper.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna draw pictures for Jarrett in the background. It's like,
Okay.
all right, Jarrett. So Yoda, green guy with big ears.
And then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna praise the hell out of Rogue One, and I'm going to destroy the Last Jedi because that's what you deserve.
Oh man, I wish we had commercial
Your
breaks.
ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
We will grant you a seat on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What?
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
How could be? How could be on the council and not be
don't-
a master? Take a seat.
sand.
Yo, Skywalker.
Uh,
Are you here to save us, Master Skywalker?
close your eyes. I got a big surprise for you. Can my surprise be a hug?
Oh man.
That's dark.
Oh, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
How did we go off topic?
Well, it's kind of on. It's
somewhat on
it's
topic.
it's in the realm.
Oh yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about prosthetics and puppets. Oh god.
Right.
Hold
Yeah.
on. We're at about 3 minutes till my camera cuts out. I'll let you know when that happens and I'll turn it back on.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to jump into the kind of bigger story that I want to, kind of discuss a little bit.
Okay.
So, the Quentin Tarantino movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is going to be released on DVD first week of December, same as Ip Man 4. And people were not 100% on board with the portrayal of Bruce Lee in that movie. So, I'm a big, huge Bruce Lee fan.
I concur to this.
Yes. And
That should everybody, honestly.
yeah. So I don't think that I don't like that he gets like the, like indestructible legendary status, I got kind of a complex view of him, but people are kind of up in arms about this portrayal. We actually watched it just before we started this podcast. So in this movie, there's a small scene where Cliff, the guy played by Brad Pitt, who is an ex-Marine or something, and a stunt double, and a guy, Bruce Lee, who's played by Mike Moe, a martial artist actor. He's a lookalike. They meet on set, and Bruce Lee kind of semi-antagonizes Cliff and challenges him to like a sparring match where they don't punch each other in the face. And it's best 2 out of 3. And the first round, Bruce Lee knocks over Cliff. The second round, Bruce Lee does another flying kick at Cliff, and Cliff throws him into a car.
It dents the car.
Spoiler alert for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's just like one little. It's like
Yeah.
one little scene. I'm not going to spoil the rest of the movie.
It's highly integral to the entire movie. It foreshadows the entire thing.
Yeah, and then they get into like a brief exchange where it's not clear who's going to win, and then it gets broken up. So people are up in arms about 2 things. One, they don't like that Bruce Lee got portrayed as like an arrogant kind of
Stuck-up kind of guy.
stuck-up, silly kind of guy. Yeah, and then 2, they're upset that someone looked like they may have beaten Bruce Lee.
Well, when I watched it with you, I kind of do concur with you. Do you need a second, Matt?
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Our motto is we don't cut anything out of these videos, and that goes right in.
everything stays.
Oh no, what have I been doing this entire time? What I do like what James said that Bruce Lee wasn't an indestructible man. He did as as a professional fighter, you do get beaten probably more times than you win. That's just how things work. And also, I do get it. I mean, Bruce Lee at the time was probably one of the, if not the best martial artists in Hollywood and in the world at the time. So I would understand him being a little bit arrogant, and it didn't seem like they overdid it in the movie.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah. So my take on it is, first of all, I've read his biography by Matthew Polly, which I think everyone should read. It's really good. So he was like, all his friends and all the interviews and stuff I've seen, everyone's got speaks about him like, he's a really nice guy, really deep, really thoughtful. There's not really any stories about him picking fights with people. There's stories about him like actually getting into sparring matches and stuff with people. But he was overall a pretty good-natured guy. When he was younger, he was definitely really cocky. But when he was older, he was not like cocky or arrogant, but I think he was very driven and he was very intense. So he wanted to be like the best martial artist in the world and the best
He was
actor in the world.
concentrated pretty much. He was like,
Yeah, I think he was building a brand for himself. So like, if you're gonna be that guy in Hollywood, in '60s Hollywood, you have to like be
Right.
And I could see how that could come across as arrogance and so like to people.
And also, and on set, well, at least this fight happened on set in front of people. So people, especially on set in Hollywood, would talk a lot. Like gossip columns were just becoming like one of the big things on Hollywood, especially. So if Bruce Lee, backed down from a fight, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
That could be like some bad press.
Yeah, well, a couple of things. He probably didn't. He's like I said, he's probably building a brand.
Mm-hmm.
This story is this scene. It's definitely a caricature of him. He definitely was not like this as a person. He was probably really nice, really professional. Probably a lot of energy, a lot of intensity.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why Tarantino put the scene in there, but it does fall flat, and I do kind of. And the other thing was, Shannon Lee, his daughter, who's in charge of the Bruce Lee estate, was upset because Tarantino didn't ever reach out to her to ask about this.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Then even if it was, that makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, even if it was a good caricature and it was perfect and they liked it, it would still probably be a problem because they didn't reach out to him. They didn't
exactly.
Let them know.
Yeah, that's not professional or courteous. But yeah, so there, some people are leaning both ways on this. I, for one, I like that they portrayed him as more human and fallible. I don't like how they portrayed him as more human and fallible.
Could have been done better.
Yeah, it's like every other movie and TV show that has is a Bruce Lee biopic, like Dragon, and Birth of the Dragon and Legend of Bruce Lee. They all portray him as like this superhuman, borderline unbeatable martial arts fighter, which is kind of the image that people have of him. Probably wasn't true to life. And I think he knew that. I think he was well aware of his abilities. I think there's an argument that he was probably the best well-rounded known martial artist in the world at the time. I think he could beat anyone in his weight class. But was he able to destroy every single human on the planet? No.
What was his weight, Jimmy? Like
he was 5'7", 130.
Wow. He weighs less than me.
Yeah, so he was a little guy.
What,
I mean,
he was probably like 2% body fat, right?
Oh yeah, he was ripped in like he apparently developed his muscles so that they were like thin but like really 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 strong.
Jeez.
That said, he didn't have people are always like so in this scene he gets in this altercation with Brad Pitt's character because he was talking about how he could beat Muhammad Ali, who was named Cassius Clay at the time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an internet message board argument that people have, like who would win, Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali?
Should we get into that later?
I'm just I'm gonna make it simple. It's I've like listened to martial artists talk about this, and they're like, in a boxing match, 100% Muhammad Ali because he was 6'2", like 250.
Yeah.
Heavyweight boxing champion.
And also you can't use kicks, you can't do a lot of things. In the boxing, there's a lot of rules. With martial arts, it's a lot more fluid.
Yeah, I think if it was a straight up fight, Bruce Lee would have given him a problem for sure, and he would have had trouble like getting around his, because Bruce Lee was more of a rounded martial artist.
Mhm.
But yeah, first and second of all, I think that if you're like, oh, who would win in a fight between these two, you don't really 100% understand either boxing or martial arts. I don't really want to understand them 100%, so I like to actually have these discussions.
Yeah.
But
Well, the thing is about Muhammad Ali is that he was, like you said, he was big, and Bruce Lee was really small. Yeah, Bruce Lee would be able to dance around him probably really easily, land on a couple of dozen hits. But all it takes is one good punch, and then
yeah,
especially a square punch as well.
yeah. All right, so if you guys want to like get more in depth and like learn like the technicalities of who would win, so there's this guy Ramsey Dewey. He runs a YouTube channel. He's an MMA coach over in China. He talks about this in depth. He really knows what he's talking. And I think they also talk about it in the Joe Rogan podcast. So if you guys want to like get into this type of stuff, check those guys out because they know what they're talking about.
More than a couple of internet dweebs like us.
Can you give me 1 second?
All right, yeah. You got
my
you got
dog
a
is
doggy
like
problem.
going nuts right now, so I apologize. I'll be right back.
All right,
This will be cut out.
Fine.
we keep everything.
Fine. I'll be right back.
Dude, Matt just left.
Oh my god.
What do we do now?
Well, we do what we always do. Enter our stasis when he's not around.
Just kidding. All right.
I'm alive.
Dude.
James didn't actually hit me in the intro.
No.
We pretended. It was acting.
That's what we call stunts.
My stunt double came
All
in.
right,
If you
I
pause
want-
the video very quickly.
We're what we call experts.
Air quotes.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Nothing,
go,
Matt.
go back and watch it when we're editing.
Oh
So-
my god! I can't wait.
Okay. Okay, so to wrap this up, so we've got so Bruce Lee portrayal, it doesn't want, it's a really good movie anyway, and as long as you look at it, okay, this is not how Bruce Lee was. This is through the lens of Quentin Tarantino as a movie.
Right.
So it's, it's on, and I'm a little ashamed of myself. So the image of when he got thrown into that car, it was a little hilarious.
I kind of like that.
That was the I think that was the comedic side of it all. Was just
Yeah, it was for comedic effect. So
Well, the only thing I don't really like about that is it could have been done better. It has a lot of cuts, and I think the fight could have been done in one shot, one of those long shots.
Yeah.
and that would have been made it about 100 times better. And I think the car scene with the dent might have been a little difficult to do, but there's ways to work around that.
yeah. So, and if Shannon Lee and various friends and biographers of Bruce Lee are saying, hey, it was disrespectful, then it's disrespectful, and you gotta honor, if they knew them and they researched him, then you gotta kind of respect their approach to it. It's a movie, and it's definitely not how Bruce Lee was. And if you want to learn how Bruce Lee was, read his bios. Look him up. He was actually a really, really nice guy. I think really, really intelligent, and it's his story in itself is amazing. So go look at it. I'm a big fan. If you guys can't tell.
Yeah, I kind of figured based on the fact that
Yeah.
we have a full episode based on martial arts right now. So it's like,
so based
Yeah.
on this, and you're just basically talking about it.
Yeah,
so.
This is me just kind of rambling.
This is Jamie's episode.
This is me
Bruce-
just fanboying
Bruce
about
Lee
Bruce
is
Lee.
Luffy.
Yeah,
Bruce Lee's for me.
Bruce Lee's the one for me.
That's gonna be the new Oreo commercial. Bruce Lee is for me. And all of a sudden,
When people go to the store, they usually get the Muhammad Ali Oreos. Not for me. For me, it's Bruce Lee Oreos.
if it's not me, it's Bruce Lee.
This ad has been paid for by the campaign to put Bruce Lee Oreos in every single store in America.
Can we have our money now?
Where?
You're welcome, Oreo.
Hi, where's our money? Yeah. We just did a promo. Oh,
We
we're not
made
get-
it, Mom.
Yeah.
Are we getting sued?
So I actually have a question about martial arts.
Yeah.
It's certain fighting styles.
Okay.
So one of our favorite characters from the new Dark Crystal series is Skekmal with 4 arms.
Hold on one sec.
Hold on one second. So my big question is that he has 4 arms and he fights with 4 blades, obviously. So if you were a
You forgot.
somebody or something with four arms, what would your preferred fighting style be, and what would probably work better?
Oh God. That's an interesting question because first of all, no human has ever had 4 arms with which to fight. Okay.
And also, if you came up against somebody with 4 arms, what martial arts form would you prefer to combat that?
Okay. First of all, let's take a look at Skekmal. So so Skekmal is like a reptilian bird dinosaur type thing, and he's very agile and can like climb through trees, and he's got 4 arms, like 2 in the front, 2 on the back, and you can see he's holding like these weird like predator knives almost. And those were like his main weapons in there. So let's see here.
We also didn't see him much fighting. We didn't do, especially against the Gelflings that are much smaller than us. So Skekmal would probably be about your size. So you're fighting somebody on the same size as you.
Okay, yeah. Let's say that it's a 6 foot tall creature like that, 4 arms. He's very strong. And we didn't, like you say, we didn't really see him like full on fight because these are puppets, marionettes that they were using. It was kind of hard to actually portray that. So those knives kind of remind me a little bit of like reversed butterfly knives almost, because they got the handle. Wing Chun is one of the ones that uses butterfly knives. So Wing Chun is the Ip Man style. It's very like direct and very. Of course, that doesn't work with the arms on the. Okay.
Well, but you have to also notice that his primary arms are very well developed and big, like normal. They're very normal.
Mm-hmm.
But these back arms are smaller, so they're more of use for show and not really the primary arms that he would be using.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, they would even in the show when his first arms were locked up in combat or something, he would use these ones to come around. So these ones wouldn't really be used for the primary style, whatever he would be using.
Yeah. All right, then I would say, okay, if I had to pick one,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably, what's it called? I'd say probably judo or jiu-jitsu. Maybe not Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but maybe more. The way I'm thinking of it is like, okay, if it's stand-up fighting, he'd use his front arms to like grab something and lock it up, and then use his second arms to come in and poke.
And he's also got the tail too, so you have to watch out for that.
Yeah. So I'd say that something that he could use his front arms to tie people up and then bring his back arms in. I'd say probably if he's using knives as his main weapon, what's it called? Eskrima.
Eskrima?
No, Kali is what it's called. Kali. So Kali is the indigenous martial art from the Philippines, and they use a lot of knives and a lot of blade work.
Well, that would definitely suit him because he can wield 4 blades rather than our 2.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
if I had-
Skekmal versus General Grievous.
Okay, so are the blades are the blaster or lightsaber resistant?
Let's say they're lightsaber resistant.
I mean, that would okay. My big thing is whenever we come up with these kind of fights is where are they fighting? Is this a flat plain where there's nothing else around, or is it
Utapau.
or is it like something else?
It's in
Utapau,
Utapau.
Okay, it's in Utapau. So like, let's say it's that hangar where Obi-Wan and Grievous fought the first time. Yeah.
Skekmal, hands down. General Grievous by that time is suffering from whatever injury he sustained from Mace Windu after the invasion of an attack of what is it, that main city?
Yeah.
Planet? That one.
Yeah.
That
Coruscant?
one. So what?
Did you say
Coruscant, yeah.
Coruscant, yeah. So, and Skekmal is obviously, if anyone's seen the show, Skekmal's big strategy is that he's very fast, he can climb extremely easily, and he can get around. General Grievous, even one Jedi was able to beat him fairly easily.
Well,
Even though Obi-Wan Kenobi's a master, but
hashtag canon. So basically, General Grievous.
spoiler alert.
General
for Revenge of
Grievous's
the
training. General Grievous's training was that he from Count Dooku was that he only would attack if he had the fear and surprise on his side. If he couldn't like intimidate his opponent or catch them by surprise, then he wouldn't attack because they had Force abilities he didn't. And if they could tap into the Force, they would beat him. So I don't think Skekmal would be intimidated. Plus, he's like 1,000 years old, so he has more experience.
And it seems like, at least from what I could gather from his character and his character design, is that Skekmal's been hunting basically every day, especially since this that he was technically born. So he's nothing but, a solid warrior and hunter.
How about him?
Yeah.
How about him versus Machamp?
Well, there's not really any major violence in Pokemon.
Also,
Oh
Machamp
my
has the-
god, did you just say that?
Yes!
Well, not okay. We're not talking about
They
the manga.
battle, they fight. It's
You
violent.
need to calm down, sir, and check yourself.
Slow ya roll.
What's
Okay,
your definition of violence?
Have you seen the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, the show yet?
No.
That's violent.
Okay. Yeah, it's puppets, but surprisingly violent. So characters actually end up dying in that show.
Violently too. It's not. It's like. But what I really like about it is it's dark, but they don't swear at all, which is kind of nuanced. But anyway, Machamp can like burst mountains with his punches, and he's also like, again, yeah, they do fight, but he'll take like a blast from Tyranitar that can destroy the moon and just go to sleep.
It's basically a sparring match. It's
It's just
basically
a
sparring in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, it's completely crumping. It's they come at each other, do one quick move, and then they back up. Oh, 20 HP.
Yeah. Skekmal will try to stab him, miss, and then he has to wait while the trainer just tries to run or something.
Attack missed.
Attack missed.
I've almost got him dead. Trainer used full revive.
Oh, come on. Oh, 1% health. Oh,
But
full restore.
there aren't that many other four-armed.
There's Goro.
Well, Goro, but he doesn't use weapons, so he's at a severe disadvantage.
There's the I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I guess
mean,
you're
Death
right.
Maul would be a pretty good fight against him, especially using a dual lightsaber.
All right. Let's think about that fight for next time though.
Okay.
All right.
But what other martial arts forms do you think would go well with one of your favorite characters from fiction?
All right. Matt, you name your favorite character and I'll see if I can figure out a good martial arts form that would work for it.
Oh my gosh. Main character from Kung Pao.
Okay. So he's already schooled in every single type of, amazing martial art, i.e. go for chucks. Let's see here. The grabbing of the triangles. What was the other one? Cow fighting.
Chicken wasn't it like the second one he was gonna fight like chickens?
Yeah,
as
he was
well?
gonna fight the
the
whole
whole barnyard.
Yeah. He's a friend. He's got that squirrel protection, so you really can't ever defeat him.
But that's only if he has enough money to get nuts for the day. So what if he doesn't have enough money and he only has like enough for like maybe one squirrel, but you're fighting somebody with 4 arms?
You need 4 squirrels.
Oh no,
That's a 4 squirrel.
That's a 4 squirrel job.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's water
four.
everywhere.
I'm falling.
You're falling. We're all falling. Well.
Actually, I have another good character that actually Matt brought up. The main character for One Piece and characters like that, like Mr. Fantastic or
Stretchy people.
stretchy people.
Okay, so those people. So Luffy uses like punches a lot, right?
It'd be more like kickboxing.
Yeah, I'd have to say kickboxing because that's straight up just like so. Kickboxing, if you guys, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically boxing and not even taekwondo because a lot of taekwondos and karate practitioners are doing point sparring where you don't quite make contact or you make light contact. So kickboxing is okay. You're actually punching and kicking these people to, knock them out. I guess the other thing I would say would be Kyokushin karate. Because Kyokushin, traditionally, I guess, uses a lot of like arm and hand conditioning. So their rule set is basically it's like not like barehanded.
Mm-hmm.
You can't punch the face or below the belt, but you can kick above the belt. You can kick the face and head. So, and like their training is like, okay, they like condition their bodies and they condition their hands. So what it looks like basically is like they're standing there like basically punching each other until, you know, one of them like gets knocked out or taken down.
Right.
So if you're going with the traditional style, I'd say that'd be better for Luffy because he's mostly mostly about delivering that one hard, you know, conditioned punch.
Yeah, unless he does gear 3, which is where he like blows into his thumb and then his hand becomes the size of a damn building and he just comes in and just pulverizes his opponent every single time.
Every single time.
And he also has another one. It's called Gear 4, where he like gets all big and he gets like black, which is called Haki, and basically becomes really hard like metal. And the way he starts off, he's like Gear 4, and he just swells up, gets big, and he just bounces. But that's him building up energy. But he uses a lot more of a fist to shin combo, I guess you could say.
But how much damage can he take on his body? That would be another thing with the kickboxing, right?
Well, kickbox. I'd say that's probably more Kyokushin. I mean, kickboxers have to take a lot of damage, but Kyokushin is a little bit more. If you're going with traditional styles, yeah, for sure. I'd say that would be the best one for Luffy. Yeah,
Oh boy, Luffy.
I think so. The other characters already use martial arts, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Zoro's like a swordsman / samurai or whatever. So he already has that kind of. He has like every
Kenjutsu.
form. He has a 3-sword style. Sanji he just uses his legs because he preserves his hands for cooking.
Okay, then that would be Taekwondo. Well, at least Olympic style. So Olympic style Taekwondo, the rule set is, again, you can kick the head, you can't punch, so you can only block with your hands.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually point oriented only, but they are really, really like, you know, precise and powerful with their legs.
Yeah, like Sanji, you know, when he does his kicks, he has his hands in his pockets.
Oh.
So and then he usually
he's
has
not
a
using
cigarette.
any
He
of
has a
his
cigarette
hands.
hanging out of his mouth too. So it's like he goes into like a full like he'll do like a full kick, but then he also does this like handstand spinning like kick ordeal. I don't know.
That would be capoeira.
Capoeira.
Yeah. So that's an indigenous martial art to Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the story is that it was invented by slaves. First of all, their hands would be like bound with like chains or something, so they could only use their legs. So they had to learn how to use just like kicks and like, you know, using, you know, just doing that. And it's usually, you know, when people practice it and there's, you know, the schools, it's accompanied by music and singing, and it looks more like a dance. And the story behind that is that they had to disguise it as a dance so that they didn't get caught and punished for doing martial art. And
wow.
yeah, so its effectiveness as a martial art, like a lot of like traditional martial arts, you know, if you're like, oh, it's not going to win any real fights, it's like, yeah, probably not, but it's really, really great. Like, first of all, culturally, and it's great. It's really fun to watch and fun to do, and, you know, definitely good worth a YouTube search.
I think most martial arts should be like that. It doesn't matter if you're gonna like, you know, no one's gonna challenge you up on the street and then to a martial arts, you know, battle to the death. But if you have fun doing it, like capoeira is probably one of the more fun martial arts I've actually looked into, and people are just having a ball just learning it. It's just, you know, and it was even on Bob's Burgers once.
Oh yeah, that's
He's
right.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
so-
ponytail.
He's like,
Did you
did you just
poop in
whip
your
me with your ponytail?
pantalones?
I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh boy. But as far as like with like One Piece, you know, their form of martial arts, it's all mixed, like you said. Like, you know, it's almost like it's a combination of not only just like you know, Japanese and Chinese, but it's also other forms of fighting.
Mhm.
I mean, full power punches and stuff like that, but
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So So I've never like been a huge fan of martial arts in anime because because they're cartoons. They tend to be a little bit more.
And there's powers in it, so it's a little
yeah.
different.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I mean, when you're watching martial arts movies or kung fu fights, that's not real either. It's all choreographed. It's not an actual fight. But something about like watching people actually go through the moves and stuff. It's very, it's just really cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think like with choreographing, I think it makes it look more like fluid. I guess like obviously like if it was a real fight, there's a lot of like choppy circumstances where they're gonna probably have to do something that they're not used to. But I feel like with choreographing and rehearsing, I feel like it makes a fight look more smooth, especially when you watch like I hate to bring it up again, Star Wars. With lightsaber duels, you see the choreography of that. It's like obviously the Anakin Obi-Wan fight, that was maybe the cleanest fight I've ever seen. Or duel I've ever seen in any Star Wars movie. So there's an example. So when they're doing like lightsaber fighting and combat, it's all made to be. It's based on kendo and like Japanese sword fighting because they were inspired by samurai movies. Yeah,
but it's of course very very stylized to make it more showy, more entertaining, and it's pretty and so you remember like the very first fight that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader have in A New Hope, right?
Yeah.
The poke fight.
The poke fight, right. So that's actually, I think, more accurate to what a real sword fight would look like.
Yeah.
So first of all, they did that because they were using wooden dowels that kept breaking because David Prowse was a freaking tank. He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So they had to be like more delicate and stuff. And they kind of like, later they were like, oh, Darth Vader was being more cautious because he remembered his fight with Obi-Wan. But, it was
like, no, it's just how it was back then.
No, he wouldn't be more cautious because Obi-Wan did not have the high ground.
Yeah.
In that fight. They are even.
Yeah.
It's
my God. Did you see the fan remake of that fight?
That was
that's
amazing.
Where we were going first off.
That was straight up. So first, that was a little bit more. I think if they had more experience and better props, that's what it would have looked like.
Yeah,
and if they had the foreknowledge of what they were gonna, turn this into.
Exactly.
And also with that scene, like I don't mean to cut you off, but like that reenactment, it was supposed to show more of the emotional part of Vader showing his anger towards like the revenge of what happened. I think he was so angry and had all that anger built up for, I think it was like 20 years at that. No, I'm sorry, 18 years at that point. 18 years, you're finally your old master, the guy that you were fighting, trying to kill, who cut your legs and your arm off. He's gonna full blown go full at it. And you saw, if you watch that, like how like they're in that narrow. Oh my God, they're in that narrow hallway, and it's like the lightsabers are just like hitting the walls everywhere.
Yeah,
he got real sloppy because he wasn't playing the defensive. He was going full attack mode on that. There was no defense.
Yeah, and also Obi-Wan probably hasn't used his lightsaber in a while.
Yeah.
And actually hasn't had an actual fight.
Yeah.
Well, somebody said something about like how Luke turned away from the Force when he was on that island.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think Obi-Wan, he didn't like necessarily cut out the Force, but I feel like he toned it down for himself because obviously his Force like surrounding him would give off a presence towards the Sith.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the whole point of it.
What I think he did was, I personally think what he did was he turned his knowledge of the Force from like, he had the blue lightsaber, so he was like combat, physical oriented, and he went more towards like meditative, living Force. That's how he was able to become a Force ghost in the end.
Yeah.
So he was, yeah.
Well, Anakin didn't do that at all, or Darth Vader. Didn't do that at all, and he still became a Force ghost.
Well, he was the chosen one, so he gets the choice no matter what.
I thought Luke was the chosen one.
Well,
I thought Luke was the chosen one. No, Luke's the chosen one, but he didn't bring balance of the Force because he just screwed it up again. So is Rey the chosen one?
Oh, God, this is supposed to be a kung fu show.
No, yeah,
it's
no.
always gonna turn around back to Star Wars.
No, I'm gonna like leap through this phone and punch Matt in the face when we start talking about Star Wars. So we're gonna change the subject. martial arts, go.
Okay.
No, every episode is just gonna be like
we're
whatever.
We're gonna have a Star Wars episode coming up.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Watch us now from now on. Every episode we have is just gonna be like whatever the topic is / Star Wars. Every time, just like
/ Disney /
China.
China.
Vikings episode / Star Wars.
Don't demonetize us /
So, apology episode / Star Wars.
Yeah.
Every episode is an apology episode just to Disney so we can get our money.
And to YouTube and to China.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, YouTube.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We're sorry.
You want us to say sorry again? So yeah, so that actually, this whole Disney and China thing, actually, great segue. The other big kung fu movie coming out next year is going to be the new Mulan movie.
Well, soon
Soon is relative at this point.
Yeah, soon is relative. So they've had some massive reshoots. They keep saying it's all due to the battle scenes because it's supposed to be a war movie. That's like the primary thing it's supposed to be. It's a war movie, not
a
really
Disney war movie.
Well, yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's Mulan. So they're saying that the reshoots are about that. That's what they're going to be doing.
Right.
That's the reshoots. They're probably just like chalking up to re-choreographing a couple new edits. But other people from the inside are saying that a lot of scenes are being reshot, not just those. Like a lot of scenes like in the movie. And I know we touched on this the episode before with the whole China thing. So China has to sign off on their movie, and James even pointed out before this podcast started that it is very much a Chinese movie. It's something, a lot of Chinese actors being filmed in China too. Yeah.
So I also I listened to an NPR piece on this particular. So this lady who's a China cinema expert was basically going through. It's like, okay, so when the first Mulan came out, it didn't go well in China. First of all, it depicted like this girl's like individuality and like her self-fulfillment, which the original Mulan story was like this girl like gives everything she loves for China. It was so the original Mulan story is like the state's better than more important than the individual type thing. Mm-hmm. So that didn't resonate with them. Second of all, it was the 90s, so Disney's 80% of their income was the United States and 20% was China. Now it's reversed. 80% of their income comes from China because they love Disney over there. They love it. Mm-hmm. So, they're like, okay, it's going to be, first of all, Disney movie about China with, Asian actors. And so they're like, it's going to be a huge hit over there. But so
be careful.
They're going to, so, I think that they're, they might be walking a thin line. It's like, okay, we don't want to alienate our American audience because that's our brand, but we also don't want to miss out on that sweet Chinese market.
Well, other people are already ready to boycott over here because the lead actress who's playing Mulan already tweeted out. I don't think it was a tweet. It was supposedly some kind of like it was the official like Chinese government platform, kind of like Twitter. Her support for the Hong Kong police. So people are already like up in arms about that and ready to boycott.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact language she used, but it was a Chinese reporter got, the story is the Chinese reporter got beaten up by protesters, and she was like saying that wow, beating up reporters now. And her statement, it basically sounded like she's like, I support Hong Kong police, and things have just gotten worse and worse. So she ended up not going to the premiere of the trailer. So what got me when I first saw the teaser for this movie, like if I didn't know it was a Disney movie, I wouldn't have been able to tell it was like like nothing looked like it looked like a straight up wuxia drama. So for those of you guys that don't know, wuxia is a type of film / fiction that is like kung fu. It's like a kung fu movie usually, but it's the one where they have all the wire work and they're like flying around and like doing the sword fighting in midair. So it's like it's based on these wuxia novels where these like heroes and fighters had all these weird superpowers, and they became really popular. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is probably the best example of one. Yeah, so these wuxia dramas tend to be very lavish productions. They're very artistic. They're very very dramatic, obviously, and intense. And so I was like, whoa, this Disney movie looks like a straight up, dark wuxia drama.
Well, to be honest, the last time they did something like that I can remember was The Lone Ranger. That was a very not Disney movie.
Yeah.
And that bombed harder than the train in the movie. The Lone
That was
Ranger.
with that was with Johnny Depp, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Name one
Okay.
movie Disney movie without Johnny Depp.
Pirates of the... Oh.
Yeah.
Tim Burton movie... Oh.
Ever since. But the latest couple Disney movies have not been doing well. Maleficent apparently is not doing that great, at least with critics. People
Also
who
with
go to see it.
advertising, man. Like, honestly, like you don't really see much for it
Yeah.
anywhere.
Well, yeah, well, what they're doing now is they're basically going through and recycling their old intellectual properties, and they're repackaging them and reshooting them for... And sure, they're soulless cash grabs, but A, the people like us are going to be nostalgic for it, and B, all the kids nowadays are old enough that they don't even remember, like, the VHS versions of these movies.
Well, the thing is, like with the Lion King, it's just so photorealistic, and there's no emotion in any of those animals because real lions and hyenas don't show emotion. So why not just show the original movie at that point?
And also, shot for shot remake. Like, I knew it was going to be similar, but I looked at it shot for shot remake.
There's a couple, but it's like a good half hour longer, isn't it?
There's like a couple of scenes where they're like, oh, I'm a slightly different character, but that's about it.
I feel like they just missed the mark on
But-
what they were trying to do.
But and then the thing is, like, they keep doing this thing where they want to add a new depth to the bad guys, except for Scar, because obviously he's bad for no reason.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm looking at for the bad guy for Mulan, because originally, what was his name? I forget.
Shan Yu?
Shan Yu was written to be a Chinese rebel. It's not one of the Hun. I don't think they only call them the Hun at like once or twice.
They say it a few times. It's in a song.
Yeah, but like he was originally written to be a Chinese rebel, against the emperor, and then they changed it to obviously to be something else,
Yeah.
to be the Mongolians. But the thing is Shan Yu, is that a Mongolian name?
So, I have no idea why I know this, by the way. I have zero idea where I learned these. So, the Shan Yu was actually the name of a people or a tribe at this time that lived in, the northern steppes. So, at the time that the actual Mulan, so Mulan's like a legendary, semi-legendary figure. So at that time there wasn't really a Mongols, but there was these northern steppe tribes, and the Shan Yu were one of them.
Okay.
And they just called them the Huns because it was kind of generic and not offensive to any people living in Asia at the time.
Right.
The Huns were actually from central Eurasia, I think, and they were the ones that Attila the Hun, they attacked the Roman Empire. But yeah, so
That's something I didn't know.
yeah, so
That's kind of cool.
yeah, so I think that the male bad guy analog is going to be played by Jason Scott Lee, who, fun Bruce Lee fact, played Bruce Lee in the movie The Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Oh, what about that?
Is he a big? I know Shan Yu in the original Mulan is like a really big guy. Is he a bigger guy now?
I don't know if he's not huge, but he, at least in the Bruce Lee movie, and I think recently he's a big muscular guy. He remember that live action Jungle Book from the 90s?
Yeah.
He played Mowgli in that.
What?
Yeah, he's that guy.
No.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, go back and get some nostalgia on. Yeah,
That's a nostalgia movie right there.
Dude,
Nostalgia, man.
dude, check it out on Disney Plus when you get a hashtag Disney Plus, hashtag give us money.
Can we have our money
do.
now? Or the Mowgli Oreos. Get them now from the 90s where things were gritty.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee is me.
Do I eat Bruce Lee Oreos? Kind of. I eat Mowgli Oreos. Same guy who played Bruce Lee.
Get them now.
The slogan is
money,
the
Now in
slogan
bacon
is just
flavor.
the slogan is just gonna be Bruce Lee is me, and it's just gonna be like an Oreo. That's like your Milk's favorite cookie.
They'll be or Disney will be selling caricatures of Oreos of every actor they've ever had, officially selling out everything they've ever done.
Hayden Christensen on one side where he's like screaming saying "I hate you" to Obi-Wan
hate-
Kenobi.
And then, or like freaking, or from a part like bits from the movies, the part from the Lone Ranger where that guy's eating that guy's heart on the Oreo for your
Oh,
kids, right there.
no,
That-
Eat your heart out.
Oh God,
dude, they should
Ugh.
put. I just thought of something like just now. What if they put memes on an Oreo, like the pictures of like like the one you see with like the girls like yelling at the cat and the cat's at the table. Like,
I was just thinking of that one.
like have that like on one Oreo on one side of the Oreo. It's like the woman screaming,
Yeah.
and I'm turning the other side of the Oreo, and this is the cat like.
that might be our $1 million idea. Don't steal that,
Shoot!
YouTube.
All right, Oreo. If you want to take that idea, just throw us out like a shout out or something. because-
Memeables.
Memeables.
Memeables. But like
Meme-
what's interesting about the Disney Plus format is that Netflix is already in debt. Like a lot of debt already. And there's a lot of litigation and like copyright for their Disney movies right now. And obviously they're going to have to pay for the money, pay out the nose to get Spider-Man in any of their stuff because they want to bring the Avengers over, and obviously you can't have Endgame or Infinity War without Spider-Man.
So are you talking about Netflix or Disney Plus?
Both.
Both?
Because Netflix is in debt, and Disney Plus is using their model essentially. But if
But they've got brand loyalty and IP that people love.
yeah, but the thing is, you get onto Disney Plus, there's only Disney movies. At least with Netflix, you can go on there. There's Sony movies, there's Disney movies, there's Marvel movies, there's
Right.
all kinds of movies and TV shows. This is only Disney. So if they actually sell out to China and only make things for the Chinese propaganda machine, they're only going to have movies on there with that kind of mindset in mind.
True.
in
so
the
they're
pop-
so
But speaking about Netflix and debt, this brings us to the segue to the final portion that we're going to talk about, which is Jimmy's Dojo. Wah! Bwong.
Oh yeah, Jared, I forgot to tell you. There's a segment we call Jimmy's Dojo.
This is where I review a
shouldn't
fight scene.
I have like a planner, a day planner for this?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll write
I
a
did not
script.
know.
We'll write out a script for the next episode. I promise.
So the reason this reminds me of what you were just talking about, so this comes from the TV show, the Netflix show Marco Polo.
Yeah.
So that was released in 2012, 2013, I want to say. Now,
Jesus, college days.
this is when Netflix was doing all these kung fu kick-ass movie shows more of.
Mhm.
And it's about Marco Polo as a young man, and he goes to Kublai Khan's court, and he ends up in Kublai Khan's court, and there's a blind monk called Thousand Eyes who teaches him kung fu. And this is the very, very last fight scene of the first season. So one thing about these fight scenes I actually really liked was they kind of blended the fantastic, some wire work, some wushu styling with, it was a little bit more organic. It was you could actually hear their hands making contact, which I hadn't heard before. So this is Thousand Eyes, the monk, the blind monk, versus Jia Sudao, who's based. These two are both based on real people, only in name really though. Jia Sudao is the bad guy. He's the chancellor of southern China, and he is an expert in praying mantis kung fu, and he's able to beat everyone else that he's fought because it's very obscure and he's really good at it. So he starts fighting Thousand Eyes, who is fighting for Kublai Khan. They use wushu swords and they're fighting, and it's kind of a stalemate. And then finally, after a brief exchange, Thousand Eyes disarms Jia Sudao, and he doesn't have a sword. But then Thousand Eyes is tosses his sword aside because he's that much of a badass. He's a blind kung fu monk, and he's like, don't need any swords. I don't even need to see you. And then they start going hand-to-hand combat, and it's kind of good exchange. A few too many cuts for my taste. But then puts this, super badass part. So Gio Sadao has like a signature move where he grapples the guy and breaks his arm, and then he tosses Thousand Eyes aside, and Thousand Eyes like getting up. He's like, his arm is like all you hear the cracking and everything, and he's just like pressure point, fixes his arm, and then Gio Sadao is like, what? And then because he's beating him with this praying mantis kung fu, and then all of a sudden Thousand Eyes goes into his form, and he's using praying mantis form, and so Gio Sadao is like, no way, and then he gets all angry, and they fight each other, and they do a few flips, and there's an exchange, and then finally Thousand Eyes reaches over and like pressure points him, like I just did to Jarrett earlier in the show, and defeats him. And so this is like one of my favorite fight scenes ever shown on a show. Kind of brief. There could have been a little bit more fluidity, I guess, between, because they had to bring in the stunt double for a couple of things, obviously. But overall, I'd say as a fight scene, I give it 7 swords out of 10.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now, Jarrett, I rate the fights in food. So, that being said, the guy, fixing himself.
Did you actually
Fighting with
watch the
praying
battle?
Yeah.
That was like
that's
a soft yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I was pretty in depth in my explanation. So if you guys want to actually see it,
Yeah.
go take a look at it.
I'll go ahead and say 4 cheesecakes out of 7.
4 cheesecakes. All right. Thousand Eyes approves. So the reason I brought this up is because this was like Netflix's one of their first big failures as far as TV shows go. Because I like the show. There was lavish sets. The writing was pretty okay. The writing, some of the actors, Benedict Wong, who plays Wong in Doctor Strange, put a great performance forward. There were a few other really good ones. The guy who played the Chancellor, Gio Sadao, was really, really good. The writing tanked in the second season. They went through they were like Game of Thrones-itis, where they're like, okay, we're gonna randomly kill people off for no reason.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and it didn't work with Netflix's business model because it was redonkulously expensive to make this show, and they ended up in the hole for like $20 to $40 million or something.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
it was
so
a
much
good,
money.
it was a pretty okay show. It could have been a lot better. They just didn't handle it well, and it didn't fit with what they were looking for. They got in over their head.
I think that's where the streaming services really don't really make sense. At least with TV, you understand, how many people are watching what, and like at least they come back. On streaming service, you definitely know what people are watching, but it's much easier to merchandise and like put in commercials and make your money back very easily.
Yeah, I think that the thing was, at least at this point, the income / stream for monetary stream for streaming services is pretty level. So you got the people that sign up, and they're pretty consistent, but you're not going to see a ton of fluctuation. At least not. So you can make new shows, and more people are going to be interested, but it's not like a Hollywood movie. It's like, okay, I'm going to put $400 million into this thing and see a big return. It's more like it's more of a, what do you call it? They need a lot of content that's quality but cheap.
Yeah. Well, that's what my big specialty and interest is the sword and sandal genres. The King, the Outlaw King. So but those are you can't monetize that. You can't put Coca-Cola in there or Apple phones in there so that you can make your money back and get some kind of monetization in there. So like I just really don't want to see that genre phase out, especially on these platforms, because I just watched The King on Netflix and I thought that was an amazing movie. The acting was there, the writing.
I've been
was there.
wanting to see that. I hear that's pretty good.
It's really good. Outlaw King as well.
Ooh, maybe next time I'll review that fight scene that they had with the 2 people in full plate armor.
Ooh, and I'll review the battle.
Cool.
And then Matt will
There you
review
go.
the food.
Food?
I'll rate you in food.
Dear Diary, today I ate a sandwich. It was okay.
I think I forgot the lettuce, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
I got seaweed.
Yeah,
All
right.
But yeah, I
What-
think we're hitting that point in time. Plus, my camera's about to die as I see it flashing red.
Okay. right.
So if you want to go ahead and any last comments or anything going on?
One more thing I'd like to touch on, semi-martial arts related, KSI versus Logan Paul 2.
Oh God.
I'm just going to touch on it real quick because it was a really well promoted boxing event. It was a pro boxing event, and these guys seemed like they were actually they weren't like, I'm not good enough to that I can be like, oh yeah, this is exactly why the details the way they're good, but I can like look at people and be like, yeah, they're good or they're bad. And they weren't like super like high level professional good, but they looked like they put their work in, and especially Logan Paul looked like he knew what he was doing and had some actual moves going. So in that sense, kudos to them. I still think they're the most annoying goddamn humans on the planet, but
The only thing about that fight is that like I have to like at least a little bit respect and kind of like the fighters in that fight, like Conor McGregor and like people like that. They're arrogant and everything, but at least I have like respect for what they do. But Logan Paul and I don't respect him at all, like at all. I would like to see him get the shit kicked out of him, but
well, that's what they're banking on when they do these things. So
yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
but all right, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for putting on the first ever Kung Fu special. I'm sure we'll get many more of these.
I thought it was Kung Fun.
I thought it was Kung Furious.
Oh my God, Jared just got demoted.
Okay.
Well, you were supposed to come in with another pun. You screwed it
I can't.
up.
I'm
This is on
horrible.
you,
I'm
sir.
horrible with puns.
All right. Say. I thought it was Kung Fast.
No, he has to. It has to be FU and then something. So I said Kung Fun. You said Kung Furious. Kung
Fabulous.
Funny.
Kung Fabulous.
All right. Let's go with that.
Yes.
It was Kung Fabulous.
It was Kung
It was-
Fabulous.
All
And
right.
I have no camera view right now, so right now everybody's gonna be looking at a blank side of my screen.
Oh,
But
jeez.
hey, it's all cool. The audio's just as
Yeah.
good,
So what's the next podcast? I mean, this is the part we're going to be cutting out anyway, right? Because
No.
Matt's not-
We haven't.
It doesn't matter. Like if anybody wants to know, our next special is gonna be Vikings, because
Yeah, Vikings gonna be premiering.
The final season's coming out in beginning of December. I believe it's December 4th. So we'll go ahead and we'll upload that one next, and then we'll move on from there.
I'm so excited. All right.
I am too.
Also, I promised I'd give my sister a shout out. So shout out to Julia. She's the one who took that picture of us on the train on the way to the parkour jam.
Oh yeah, if none of y'all saw that awkward ass picture.
Oh yeah. We'll tell you guys all the story behind that picture at some other time. But that was a good time. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, we can probably elaborate on it on the next episode. We can talk
For
about
sure.
that stuff. But,
All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for stepping into my dojo, stepping into my kung fu school. I know those are two different things, but this has been the Area Nerdy 1 Kung Fu Special. I am Jimmy.
I'm Jarrett.
And I am Matt.
All right, you're gonna delete all that, right?
I looked
Yeah,
right
think-
in the camera. They're going to see my soul and then realize there's nothing there but blackness.
Where?
Ah! My face.